Hey guys, what's going on? It's Garrett Sidler here with eXp Realty. Welcome to the Real Estate Gurus podcast. Here I have my co-host Shane. Shane, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Shane Tibiatowski here with Alameda Mortgage Corporation. My whole region had decided to make a move to go to a smaller company versus being with a bigger company, just because it gave us more flexibility as far as with our clients, better rates, better fees. And so we decided to make that move. And there's a lot of people moving right now, Garrett, with everything that's going on as far as the market goes. So this has just been a great move for us, and we're super excited.
Yeah. So tell me about that. So you recently made a move. So what was the big decision behind that?
Well, the big decision behind it actually wasn't even ours. Actually, a couple of the owners had decided that they wanted to do something smaller, be more family orientated, not have all these ridiculous margins that a lot of these bigger companies have.
Right.
Just simply to benefit our clients, make things easier for the clients, more affordable, and basically the same thing for us. I mean, it's a dog eat dog world out there, as you know, in real estate, and you have people that are, trying to sell the same rates and service and fees, and we're fine with that. We like comparison shopping and stuff like that. We're good with that, but right now we're anywhere from a quarter of a point all the way to a point on some cases as far as the difference in what we're able to do for rates.
Yeah, and that's a huge difference when people, hear about that. I don't think a lot of people can really understand how big of a difference that can make. And I think that would be perfect to explain kind of what that really entails, going half a point down. What would that entail monthly?
Well, I'll tell you what. So what's happened since the market's changed in the last year? Let's look at where interest rates were. So like when we bought our house from you here, we ended up getting a rate for 2.75.
Right.
Okay. So, and then right now you're looking at rates being at 5.5%.
Right.
Well, what that's done to people is it's made your mortgage payment go up by about $1,000.
Yep.
So if you're going to have a $2,500 payment a year ago, it's $3,500 now. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yep.
And it's crazy, but what's that?
And it's all interest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a very, very small fraction of that is going to principal, that's for sure. But and eventually we're going to get back, I don't know if we're going to get back into the twos or not. I know we'll be back into the threes at some point. But right now, as far as with Alameda, I just locked somebody on a VA loan at 4.5%.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, pretty amazing. We've got conventional FHA, we're in the fours, where everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, 95 to 97% of the lenders that are out there are in the fives.
Yeah.
Some of them are all the way even up to the sixes. And for people to understand why that is and what that means is depending upon how many people are working and what they're paying for, their margins. And so if there's extra money, or I shouldn't say extra money, I should say money that needs to pay for stuff, who do you think they're going to pass it on to?
Right.
Client. And that's the kind of stuff that was, happening. Cardinal's a fantastic company. Loved it. And very sad to go. But, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to what we're all about and what we want to do for our clients, this just made a lot of sense.
Right.
And to go to a smaller company that has the same abilities as Cardinal does, to be honest, even more that I'm finding out. It's pretty interesting to see the different stuff. And you'll get to see that too with some of the marketing stuff that we'll get to do, the cool marketing stuff that's like, it's just simple.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that at Cardinal, and now we have this here. So there are definitely some things that I like better. The comfortability, anytime you make a change, it's always difficult.
Right.
Because you're always learning somebody else's new stuff. But again, it was worth every little bit of heartache that it was and sadness and leaving because there's good people over there. But when you're in this business to, help your clients and make people's dreams come true by getting home ownership, it was a necessity. Yeah. And we just felt that, this was the best thing for us to do. So we're super happy with it.
That's awesome. Well, cool.
Yep.
Well, I know that you had kind of a real specific type of topic that you wanted to go over, so I'll let you go ahead and start off with that.
Yeah, thanks. We've talked a lot before, a couple different times about credit stuff as far as helping people. And I think it becomes even a little bit more critical now than it has in the past, just simply because look at the rising rate environment, not just with, interest rates and buying a house, but look at what's happening to rent.
Right.
I mean, people are calling me left and right saying, hey, can we figure out my credit? I know that, I've got some issues. I just want to get this done. I don't care if it takes me 6 months because, they're telling me that by the first of the year, my rent's going to go up $400 a month.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot, and so understandably so that, when you add $400 a month onto rent, and maybe you're already paying $1,800, $2,200. I mean, that's money that's going for that person. You get nothing.
Yeah, you're paying somebody else.
Nothing. What do you get at the end when you? Yeah. What do you get when you move out? You get your deposit back? Maybe.
Yeah.
You're having to pay for this, pay for that, pay for this, depending upon what happened. So you get no money back, but at the same time, it's not going towards anything. So having your own mortgage, I think it's just super, super important for people to just, basically throw their hands up in the air and say, okay, I know that this is something that I need to do. I've been avoiding it because maybe I'm embarrassed. Maybe I don't think I can. Maybe it's a combination of a lot of those things. But there's no judgment here. It's a judgment-free zone. We don't care about that. What we care about is getting the best deal that we possibly can for you. And if that means that we have to wait 6 months, maybe a year, so that way we get that credit up to where it needs to be, then so be it. Then that's the price that we have to pay. But at the same time, you have a goal in mind now. You have a light at the end of the tunnel, which a lot of people don't. And you hear that in their voice when they're talking about this stuff because they're just not prepared. They run from it or avoid it for whatever reason. They don't want to deal with it because they know that, that mistakes have happened. But I'll be the first one to tell you, when I was younger, and it's not even about being younger. I mean, I made mistakes when I was in my 30s. There's things that have happened. Life happens. And so you just got to get through that stuff. And, if you have somebody there that's holding your hand, it makes it all that much better. And you want to know the best part about this whole thing? It doesn't cost you a penny to do it. We do it for you and tell you what you need to do. Okay? It does not cost you any money to give to us for us to tell you and help you with this. Now, it may cost you money if you have collections and judgments and you have to pay things off. Well, yeah, that's your responsibility. But we're going to tell you what you need to do. And we have a formula and a system within our system that's going to tell us and you exactly what you need to do and how long it's going to take to get your credit up to this point, to this point, and to this point. You and I were just talking a couple minutes ago about a client that I have in North Dakota and where their credit's at, and I've helped them along the way to get to the point where they're able to buy, and their credit's just going to continue to go up because they've taken care of the stuff that was on there, whether it be collections. People don't know that credit cards. If you have a credit card and you have a limit of $1,000 and you owe $900 on it, that's going to drop your credit score way down. What credit card people want to see is that you're not utilizing more than 30% of what that limit is. So if you have a $1,000 limit, you don't want to utilize more than $300 at any given time. And you don't want to pay the whole thing off. So, you want to keep making payments on it to show that you're using it. And that's what revolving debt is. On your installment loans are your student loans, car payments, house payment. Just don't be late on those. Don't be over 30 days late for sure. But there's lots of different things, and people just need to reach out. People need to be okay with the fact that, hey, I've made some mistakes. I need to figure it out because the environment we live in right now is completely and totally unforgiving. And if you don't do something about it or let somebody help you and show you the way, you're just going to keep paying max amount of dollars for pretty much everything.
Yep. It's pretty crazy right now. So yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you're in the financial spot right now, you should always go and try to buy a house when you can. If you're physically able to, you should, because, I was just talking to somebody else the other day is, something that's always going to be rising, it's going to be the housing market itself. Statistically, I mean, even if it has ups and downs, housing's just going to keep getting more expensive. They're never going to lose its value completely. And I don't think we're going to have another 2008 situation, which was a totally different type of deal. But, just the realization that you are losing out every single day on a house because houses are just going to keep getting more expensive. You should when you can. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, even some of the biggest names in this industry and even outside the industry, like Dave Ramsey's been real big on, buy. Lots of people in the lending world and real estate world, and people could sit back and say, well, sure, that's the business that you're in. You should be telling people to buy because that's how you stay in business. That's not the case. I mean, you have to understand that people don't just, put you in a house because they want to put you in a house and make money off of you. At least not the good people that shouldn't be doing that, because there's people that can get into a house and there's people that can't right now. And so you help those people that can't to be able to get into a house and make that decision. We never push anybody into a house. You never push anybody into buying something, or that's just not how you and I operate, for sure. And anybody else that does, shame on you. But this is simply a position for you to make a choice. Yeah, okay, I want to buy a house and be able to, put my money into this and build equity and, have a great asset. For other people, they might say, well, you know what? I don't want to own a house. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for this. I want to have somebody else take care of it for me. And that's perfectly fine. Just know that your money is going nowhere, and if you're okay with that, well, then I'm okay with that. It's just a matter of, what your priorities are. And there's nothing better than to be able to be in a situation where you can make that decision. Do I want to buy a house, or, am I going to rent? At least you have a choice, And some people don't have that choice and they need help with that. And, a lot of times people don't understand that, having kids, having medical problems, COVID that's gone on and people have been laid off and things like that. And there's definite reasons why, people's credit has, taken a downturn, and we're here to help. Like I said, judgment-free zone. We're here to help and put you in the right position. And again, if it takes time, I mean, it literally takes less than 5 minutes to screw your credit up. It's not going to take less than 5 minutes to get it fixed. So we just got to start somewhere. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a great
definitely is. And I think people need to keep in mind the fact that don't just go on and jump to the first, Rocket Mortgage or .com or whatever. First off, you have time to go ahead and get, to look around, to shop around. So make sure you get with a lender that actually cares. The second thing is, if you get denied approval on an online application that, it's a bank of whatever, a lot of times it's just, hey, denied for this reason. That's it. Well, then they give people like you a call where we can go ahead and go through the entire process. It doesn't cost them anything. They're not paying thousands of dollars for debt consolidation companies to figure out what their problem is. And we're in it for the long run because that's what real estate is. I mean, that's just what we're used to.
And we want to keep you as a client and be able to help you. I mean, I have clients that call me all the time and ask me questions, and that's what we want to be here for. We want to be that sounding board for you. Doesn't mean that you're buying a house or, everything every 3 years or something. I mean, heck, I've got people that bought houses from me back in 2005 and they haven't done anything different, but they referred people because they know, what they're going to get out of it. I think what you're talking about too is, you get a lot of people that, feel that sometimes I think that, like they have to do something
Right.
like really, really quick. And you don't. Okay? There's always, and you'd be better at explaining this, but one of the things that I've learned, in working with you and other people is that, depending upon where you want to live, in every one of those cities, there's always like, pockets, of, this is less expensive, this is more expensive, taxes are better here than here. And so, just because you might not be in this neighborhood right now doesn't mean that you won't be in that neighborhood in 5 years, or maybe even 2 years or 3 years. And some people get caught up in that, where they think that, if they can't get this right now, then maybe it's not worth it.
Yep.
Absolutely, it's worth it. It's worth it because the guy that bought the house for $200,000 just sold his house last week for $280,000.
Yep.
In 3 years. Okay, that's paying off some debt when you close on that thing. That's the down payment that you don't have to come up with for your home because of what you gained on it. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, and so it's like when you go buy your first car, you're not buying the most expensive car on the lot. You're having to work your way up, and sometimes that's
and I think that's a good point. Is a lot of first-time home buyers I get, well, it's not everything we ever wanted. I think we need to get out of the stigma that everything that, and I know from my generation alone, I've seen it a lot of, well, I saw my parents have this, and my parents now have a giant house and they've got all these toys. And it's like, you know what? They didn't start at your age getting all those things. And we've become such a society of, I want everything that my parents now have without earning it or going through the hardships. And that's just simply not the case. And then not only that, getting your first house shouldn't be your dream house. I don't think many people are able to do that. No. But getting into your first house is the stepping stone into knowing what you want, knowing an area that you like, just having experience owning a home, first off, because guess what?
How about owning a home and being happy and blessed at the fact that you got into a home?
Absolutely.
And this is where you're starting.
And then, like you said, using it towards a down payment and all sorts of stuff for the next house. So,
My first house was on the corner in Fargo, North Dakota. It had a pool in the backyard. It was a $122,000 house. And they filled that pool in the backyard with dirt because it just, having a pool where it smells all the time, not really a great idea. But the starter home, my kitchen, my first kitchen was, no bigger than, gosh, it seemed like maybe an oversized bathroom stall. It was so small. Bathrooms were tiny, just a straightaway. There was the sink, there was the shower, there was the toilet, just straight away. And we were happy as could be, and we worked our way up and, end up having more kids and, get into a bigger house and things just work this way and work that way. And it's just a timing. People just don't need to be in such a hurry, let it manifest, into this. And you're going to look back someday. I'm going to be 51 years old this year. And I look back and I'm like, man, how did we do it? Between Heather and I, my wife and I, we have 9 kids, hers, mine, and ours. How did we do this? But we did it. And, we were happy. At one point we were living in a 4-bedroom townhome. When we moved right away, we lived in a townhome for over a year. Because not all the kids live with us, but, 4 kids in the house, and it's like, man, but we had a roof over our head, it's not a 3,500 square foot house, but it's just, at some point you just have to, like I said, be happy, be blessed with what you have and let it manifest. It's going to happen. Always make your house payment. And as time goes on, it's just going to get better. Look at what the market's done. it's fantastic, and it's going to stay, I think good for a while. I mean, it's like you said, it's different than 2008. You don't have people, dictating what appraisers are going to, put on the house. It is what it is. So, but yeah, there's a lot out there that people could be doing, and all they got to do is just give us a call. I promise you, it doesn't cost you a penny to do it. It's amazing what you find out. I've had probably 60% of the people that I've dealt with on this be absolutely shocked that they've been able to buy a house in 3 to 6 months. Like they thought it would literally be years.
Yeah, some people think that it's unfixable, some of their stuff, and it's just that's not the case. So yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. All right. Well, do you have anything else to touch on before we get going?
No, I'm so sorry that we've been gone for so long. It's been a lot of craziness, change with the company, and I had some of my kids here. It makes things difficult when they're here because you like to spend so much time with them while they're here. But it's good to get back on the air with you, and we need to do this a couple times a week and really get people's attention as far as how they can be helped. We're not looking for anything but to help people. Eventually it turns into a sale as far as you buying a house. But that's what we want. We want that for you. You should want that for you. So I'm excited. I can't wait until I can get some more calls and helping with people. Lots of people. Let me tell you one more thing. Lots of people in my world, they don't want to help people that need credit help. They don't want to nurture them, and because some of the people that are not in it for the right reasons, they want to make the quick money now. So they want you to be that buyer now. Look, if you're that buyer now, great. Good for you. We're super excited to help you as well, obviously. But the people that do need the credit help, believe me when I tell you, okay? There's nothing more than that brings satisfaction to us as far as to see you go from this point here to getting to this point to be able to buy a home. And that, I mean, look at one that we closed here, last month, Richardson's. Look at how happy they were. Ecstatic. And that's what you want, is you want those people that, understand the struggle, the hard work, and the appreciation of getting to that point. And that's what you love to see. I mean, there's nothing better than that. I don't care if it's $100,000 house or if it's a $1 million house. It doesn't matter. These people, when they get in, they get into that first home, they're just like, it's amazing. And so anybody that's watching this, or somebody that, needs help, please have them reach out to Garrett or myself, and we'd be more than happy to get them to that point. We don't care if it takes 6 months, 3 months, 2 years. Let's work on it together and get you to that point, because I promise you it'll change your life.
All right. Thanks for everybody for watching. And we will be having new videos out every Wednesday and Fridays now. And you can catch us on YouTube and on all the podcast locations. We got Spotify. We've got, what else are we on? We're on pretty much everything you could think of for.
Well, we should tell the people too. Be on the lookout for us on TikTok, and we're going to be coming to you with.
Sounds good.
Something fun. You're going to see Garrett and I getting
down,
diggity.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much. You guys
take care,
have a great
everybody.
week.